So we've just arrived at our campsite, except for the fact that we haven't just arrived at our campsite.
It's 4:30.
Yep.
And we actually arrived at our campsite at 1:30. However, Jill was actually following me. We got two cars here, and we'll explain why later. So we got our campervan, and we've got a car with us. And Jill was following me and said, "You got a flat tyre." So I got out, and it was totally flat. Wasn't it?
It was properly flat as well, not just a little bit.
Absolutely, totally flat. Just as we arrived here. So very nice lady, a reception. Spoke to her about it, and she said, "Oh, my husband's got a pump." So we borrowed his pump and pumped the tyre up.
Which was hard work because it was a foot pump. It
wasn't
an electronic thing. It was a foot pump. So I was standing there for ages and ages, pumping away.
And so we pumped that up, and basically then tried to find the nearest place that would actually change a tyre for us. And unfortunately, we really are in the middle of nowhere. We are at...
This is Trewuthet Farm campsite, which is quite near Tintagel, but Tintagel isn't very big, doesn't have any kind of a garage.
No. So the closest place was actually in Wadebridge, which is about half an hour away. So we went over there, and very nice people there again.
Yeah, went to ATS there, didn't we?
We
Very
did.
helpful people.
And he said, "Oh yeah, you got a screw in your tyre," and I was expecting a bill rather more than it actually was. So we paid £34.50 for him to
He basically repaired the hole in the tyre, and you can't really argue with that, can you?
No.
So it was very good. But we're very glad that we're here now.
We are. So we're here for two reasons. First reason is the fact that we've walked all of the Cornwall Coast Path, apart from one little bit. And that's why we've actually got two vehicles here. So our plan tomorrow, which is the only day that it actually looks like it's actually going to be not raining whilst we're here, is to walk the last 8 miles of the Cornish Coast Path.
Yep.
And once we've done that, we'll have done all of the Cornish Coast Path. And the second reason is it is our anniversary on Monday? Tuesday.
You know when it is.
26th. I know it's the 26th. I didn't know which day the 26th was. So we're having a little bit of pre-anniversary cake. This is a Christmas cake that we made, but we thought it'd be nice to bring it away with us and have our Christmas cake. So
and if you remember our very first video last year, we had our anniversary.
we did.
So those people who've been regular viewers will know that this is now a year that we've had the campervan, and it's been absolutely fantastic.
Yep. We were working out earlier. We've actually stayed away every single month,
Yep.
at least one night. And we're going to do a year review. We're taking it in for a habitation check next week.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a year review after that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Call it off, let it go.
Yesterday we actually went out on our walk, and as we say, didn't rain at all. It was great. Today, not so. It's absolutely awful. It started raining about 7 o'clock last night. Hasn't stopped, but it has got harder. So it's actually absolutely chucking it down at the moment. There are a few people wandering past, togged to the nines. It's not cold, but it is very windy and it's raining. Not particularly nice, not particularly conducive to going out for a day out somewhere, but we'll see how we get on.
So we are making cheese toasties for lunch, and we're using our Ridge Monkey. Never done it before, but we're going to give it a bash and see what it's like. It looks okay, but whether it's actually going to melt the cheese is another matter, so we'll have to just see. So Ridge Monkey's going to go on the grill. So this is the cheese toasty. Doesn't look too bad. I don't know how melted the cheese is the problem, but we'll have to Roger will have to try it and see, won't he?
As we say, we're staying at...
I knew you would remember. Trewuthet Farm campsite, which is between Boscastle and Tintagel on the north coast of Cornwall.
It's now Tuesday, it's our anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
And yesterday was a complete washout. It just rained from about 7 o'clock on Sunday night through till, I think it was meant to be about 3 o'clock this morning.
Yep.
It was just horrible.
It was vile, but a lot of the pictures on this campsite have sea views, which is really nice. As usual, there's nice loos, showers, that kind of thing. It's all very civilised, very well organised, very clean.
Yeah, because it is a camping and motorhome club.
It's a camping and motorhome club site, which is great. Yeah, a lot of the pitches here have sea views.
It's actually a lot quieter now. It was full over the weekend. Well, full as far
Saturday
as
night, Sunday night, she said, didn't she? It was full.
as far as all the hard standing pitches were concerned. They were trying not to get anyone to go on the non-hard standing pitches just because the weather had been so awful and the ground was just completely quagmired. But she said they couldn't turn people away. So some people who had booked, they had to go on grass pitches, which would have been interesting, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, because the amount of rain we've had, as I said to her, they'd get on, but they'd never get off again.
No, exactly. Exactly. But we're now walking, which should be about just over a mile, we've read, to...
We're going to... He's terrible, isn't he? Yeah. We're going to St Nectan's Glen and the waterfall at St Nectan's Glen. We've never been there. We've driven past it quite a few times, and we've always thought, oh, that must be quite a nice place to go. There is parking there, but we're not going to park because we're just literally just down the road from it, so we thought we'd just walk up there and go and see what it's all about. This is St Piran's Well. We're on the way to St Nectan's Glen at the moment, and this is just en route. There's a few houses around, and it says that this dates from about 1880, and there used to be a hand pump out the back for local houses to come and collect their water from here. It does say, though, that there was probably a holy well here from about 1300 onwards, but sadly there's no actual stone recognition of that anymore. So this is the valley leading up to St Nectan's Glen. We haven't actually got there yet. But we've already walked over a mile from the campsite, and this is a beautiful little stream here, stunning, and I love the sound of the water over the rocks as well. There's various little cairns and things that people have built with their stones, and I think that's another footpath that goes the other side of the valley over there. But yeah, it's absolutely stunning here, beautiful. So we've just paid to come into St Nectan's Glen itself, and the man was very helpful, showed us where to go and all the rest of it. And this is obviously a meditation garden, lots of bits of ribbon tied onto the trees, and that's to remind you of loved ones that you've lost, I believe. And lots of Buddhist prayer flags here as well, and offerings of money as well, which are all still there. There are honest people in the world, that's always good. So we've come down quite a few steps already, but there's a lot of steps down to the waterfall. And we were just discussing, this is a very spiritual place, and there's lots of meditation places around, lots of sort of prayer places as well. It's very muddy here, but it's lovely actually. He said also he thinks we're the only people in here at the moment, which is nice. And yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful location, and the closer you get, you can hear it starting to thunder as well, which is quite interesting.
You came in like a storm with no warning, swept me off my feet. It was a deadly dance, and I knew if I stayed I would never leave. 'Cause you had my heart in your hands, soft like a summer, and then it was a deadly dance, and I knew if I stayed I wouldn't stand a chance.
Actually not quite as cold as I thought it was going to be, which is good. And in a minute I'm going to go up there as well and have a little look at the bottom of the waterfall itself, I think. It's a bit slippery on some of these rocks, but actually it's not too bad at all. It's certainly refreshing, that's for sure. I think my feet are going numb now, but that's okay. That's amazing, through the hole. We just spent about 3/4 of an hour or so at St Nectan's Glen. It was lovely. Yeah, about that kind of time. It was absolutely beautiful. We walked all the way around the waterfall, paddled through the stream, which was fresh but very nice. And it's a real magical place, I'd say, as well. I can quite understand why they make it into a place which is full of prayer and meditation. They've got a yoga studio up there as well, so it's very much about a meditation spot, I think it's fair to say, and it is lovely. I do recommend it if you come to Cornwall at all.
Just like the boat from the blue, you came right in, loved me to the bone.
So the field behind us is the tent field, and we have actually been to this campsite before, about 6 years ago, just over 6 years ago,
just
it was,
over.
wasn't it? And we came with our tiny, tiny little two-man tent. because we were just basically trying to suss it out to see if it was going to be warm enough, waterproof, etc., etc.
It was March,
It was March.
but it was snowing
Yeah,
and it was freezing.
it was very, very chilly. We had on our thermals when we went to sleep, didn't we?
We did. It was just because it was actually a very small tent. It was actually not too bad.
It was fine once you were in. It was the getting in that was the problem, really.
Yes.
Getting changed and everything. But it was absolutely fine,
Yeah.
wasn't it? And we never actually used that tent since. We've used it once or twice since, but not very
Yeah.
often. And we want to take it when we go to Scandinavia because we're hoping to use it when we go over there. So
A little bit.
a little bit, not much, not much. We're going to be in Henry most of the time, but we will be using the tent once or twice as well. So the walk today was to St Nectan's, Glen and back. It was a bit longer than we thought because it's just over 4 miles from the campsite. But it was lovely, and it was mostly off-road as well, which was very nice. And it was definitely, as I said earlier, it was definitely worth doing if you're in Cornwall. And particularly if you're staying at this campsite. It's a lovely little wander out, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. No, it's very pleasant actually. When we got there, although it was 11 o'clock or whatever, he said we were the only ones there. By the time we left, there were quite a few other people there.
Yeah.
The last bit, you do have to cross a little bit of a stream. And so you do either have to take your shoes and socks off or get your feet slightly damp.
We both opted to take our shoes and socks off, which I think was probably the right thing to do, because otherwise we'd be walking back in very squelchy shoes.
Indeed.
But it was great.
It was, yeah, very, very enjoyable.
So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and send us a comment.